All right, today I have a bit of a story for you guys that's genuinely disturbing because what I can't really show you guys the videos because they're really bad, but in essence, what happened was that there was some live streams going on, okay, with the streamer named Jean Palmanov. So he is a streamer in France, okay, and so he ended up actually dying due to some complications, but when I tell you that he was essentially tortured and taken advantage of, it's like really bad. So, yeah, it's a bit disturbing, but let's actually try to dig into the story a bit because let's try to understand fully what was going on with this whole case. So, we're going to start off here where I have this Wikipedia article where it talks about who he was. So, basically, it says so Palmanov began his career in March 2020 on TikTok, creating humorous and gaming videos, including games such as GTA 5, FIFA, Fortnite, and collaborating with influencer Dikari78 on Twitch. His streams earned him 669,000 followers and totaled more than 35 million views. His content was characterized by an explosive and interactive tone, punctuated by moments of rage, including absurd challenges in his streams, maintaining close connections to his community. However, his content also attracted criticism through controversial content such as subject material including provocations, humiliations, and obscenity. He also participated in events such as the Paris Game Week 2022. In 2023, Palmanov left Twitch to stream on the platform Kick and became the highest viewed French streamer on the platform. So if you actually go to his if you actually look at his channel, he has had a lot of followers on Kick. And the real tragic part about this whole story is the fact that he literally was, exploited. And Kick also promoted it on the stream. So if you're looking right now, you can see that you can literally see a Kick and the French area is literally promoting this stuff. So that's the really disturbing part about all of it. So that's a bit of background on who he was. And so we're just going to take a look at this article and we're going to try to read up on the story and see exactly what happened. And I also have a bit of a timeline for you guys to follow. Luckily, our Reddit user happened to summarize it all for us. So here we start here. It says, so an investigation has been launched into the death of French streamer known for his extreme challenges. Raphaël Gravin, also known as Jean Palmanov, was found dead at a residence in Comtés, a village north of Nice, prosecutors say. The 46-year-old has been subject to bouts of violence and sleep deprivation during streams and died in his sleep during a live broadcast, local media reported. Confirming a judicial investigation was underway, French government minister Clara Chapaz described Mr. Gravin's death and violence he endured as an absolute horror, adding he had been humiliated for months. A spokesperson for Kick, a live streaming platform similar to Twitch, on which users can broadcast content and interact with other users in real time, told the BBC the company was urgently reviewing circumstances around the streamer's death. We are deeply saddened by the loss of Jean Palmanov and extend our condolences to his family, friends, and community, they said. And the platform's community guidelines were designed to protect creators, and Kick was committed to upholding these standards across our platform, the spokesperson added. Chapaz, the Minister Delegate for Artificial Intelligence and Digital Technology, said she had referred to issue to ARCOM, the French media regulator, and Pharos, a French system used to report online content. Sarah El Arahi, France's High Commissioner for Children, described death as horrifying. Platforms have an immense responsibility in regulating online content so that our children are not exposed to violent content. I call on parents to be extremely vigilant, she wrote on X. The prosecutor's office confirmed it had opened an investigation into the case of death and ordered an autopsy. The AFP news agency reports Jean Palmanov had more than 1 million followers across his various social media platforms and had built a strong community on Kick. One of his co-creators, Owen Shenazdoti, known as Naruto, announced Jean Palmanov's death on Instagram and paid to his brother, sidekick, partner, and asked people to respect his memory and to not share of his last breath online. As you're going to see here, all these people are very terrible. I can't even sugarcoat it. But as you can see here, though, he's pretty much well loved by his community. I mean, you can see him fans. He has fans and stuff, and so he had a tragic death. And luckily, Drake and Aiden Ross ended up covering his funeral costs, so there's some good that came out of it. And so, now that we have a full background on this entire story, I want to point to you guys a timeline that luckily a Redditor actually brought up to show the different humiliations. Now, Like I said, I will not even show you. I will not show you any of these. I may give you some still images if you're lucky, because it's one, it's disturbing, and two, it's YouTube does not allow you to show that kind of content. But let's talk about it anyway. So here, somebody says here, hijacking to bring more info so people can see the insanity of the situation and of what was being streamed for years. First on Twitch, then repeatedly on the biggest French Kick channel, yet no one, including Kick or police, did anything. And that, yes, Paul Manov most likely died due to this streaming marathon, sleep deprivation, and physical abuse from co-streamers, and complications from his heart problems. Here's a recap with the video evidence. But yeah, so there's that. So first, he said he died during a 10 streaming marathon in which they couldn't stop streaming until finishing a game while being woken up constantly by various horrible methods despite his heart problems, methods seen here, and I won't show you guys that. And so along with that as well, if you keep going down to another one, which is probably the biggest one here, you have basically multiple people exploited a vulnerable, isolated middle-aged guy who may have had a disability, according to press, bullied him on stream for content, saw it generated views and money, psychologically and physically abused him for years, manipulated him, pressured him financially and psychologically whenever he wanted to leave, until it progressed to a point where they even disregarded his heart issues, all for money, and streamed in HD. They knew about his heart problems and that he was taking medication for it. It was mentioned multiple times on stream. Here, they hit him while he understandably shouts at them that he has to take his medication. And so probably the worst part about all of this was his mom actually ended up doing something about it. Like, she ended up calling her own son. So it even says here, Paul Manov's mother, 70 years old, was often calling on stream to beg his son to leave after humiliations while his co-streamers made fun of it. They would also call for her themselves. So now that we have all of that, I'm actually going to play some of the clips. At least the ones that are public. I'm going to try my best to translate it for you guys. Just because, like, you know, it's pretty dark how it gets. So let's play some of it.
Est-ce que tu regrettes le contrat à 600 000 euros par mois?
Oui.
Si tu avais été seul, est-ce que tu aurais accepté le contrat à 600 000 euros par mois?
Je prends l'argent, je me casse et basta. J'ai déjà fait du casino de toute façon.
T'es honnête? Est-ce que tu m'en veux? Est-ce que tu as déjà été triste après un live?
Oui.
Ouais. Cette tristesse a duré plus de 24 heures.
Oui.
Est-ce que JP, tu restes uniquement au local pour l'argent?
Ouais.
J'en ai une deuxième. Si tu pourrais partir, tu partirais.
Ouais.
So from what I understand, there was like a lie detector test. And so they're basically asking him, would you ask for this amount of money or this amount of euros to do like this and that? Were you sad when you spent it all at the casino? And then he asked, like, would you take half in order to leave? So that's like one thing. And you can tell, like, I don't ever play psychoanalyst, but you can literally tell, like, he's not all mentally there. Like, he's not there, like, at all. But regardless, they're still doing that. But to show you something even worse, I'm going to play a snippet of what these guys said to him, like, in a stream. And it's I think you can get the gist of it if you understand, like, basics. But I'm still gonna translate it for you guys anyway, or at least give you guys like a rough idea what it is, because it's really nasty stuff. It's really genuinely nasty.
Non, je veux pas, je le souhaite pas du tout. C'est pas un truc que t'as vu, j'ai pas envie du tout. Mais imagine un jour dans le délire, on est en train de rigoler et tout et.
Il clappe. Tu sais que je me suis déjà posé la question.
En plein live.
Ouais.
On est mort.
Ouais, alors que à moins qu'il se fasse caméra là maintenant, que si demain il meurt en plein live, c'est dû à son état de santé de merde et pas nous.
Non.
Comme ça, non, du tout.
Alright, so if you're not understanding, he's basically telling them, like, to look into the camera and tell them, like, listen, if I die on stream for doing what I did, or for doing what I was doing on stream, it's basically like my responsibility, or it wasn't right in my head. I believe that's roughly what they said. It's a bit hard for me to understand a bit, because, like, it's you know, his accent's a bit getting used to, but that's the gist of what they said. But I want you to keep paying attention to more of this, because it gets worse. Like, it literally is not, it does not get any better.
Comme ça, non.
Je fais rien du tout.
Comme ça, non. Regarde la caméra, dis. Imagine demain, je te dis n'importe quoi. On est en plein live, boum, tu t'énerves, tu te mets à crier.
Ouais.
Et bim, tu fais un arrêt cardiaque.
C'est pas grave.
Du moment que que en live, on voit que tu m'as porté secours ou qui m'a porté.
Non, mais c'est pas, ça marche pas comme ça.
Mais imagine, ça arrive au moment. Vas-y.
Les gens, ils vont s'en prendre à nous, alors que c'est dû à tes 46 ans de vie minable.
Tu peux pas savoir que j'aurais été écrit cardiaque.
So he's pushing back. He's basically like said like why should I be the one to do this? Like what happens if how would you feel if you had to be the one to do that kind of stuff? If you had to be the one to be on stream. Now my transition isn't like one-to-one perfect, but I'm just trying to give you guys the gist of how I understood it. So it's really show you guys like they don't really care about him in the slightest. Like they want him. It's basically saying, okay, he killed himself or he died. We have no. It's our responsibility. It's not our responsibility, you know, to say to do that stuff. But if I told you guys that there's more clips about these morons talking about how, you know, he tried to escape and they basically locked him out. So let's take a look because it's really sad.
JP là il a bougé, il est parti. Donc il a quitté là pour rien, c'est lui qui sabote. On lui a rien dit, il lui a rien fait. Il sabote, je sais pas, il fait le malin, il est parti. Je veux que tu récupères les clés de l'appartement, de la voiture, qui paye le loyer qui manque, et il peut partir. Il peut se mettre au bord de la route, mendier, et rentrer chez l'OMS. Voilà. Ouais, comme ça, pour rien, il s'est levé, il a pas assumé le défi, c'est une grosse pute. Voilà, juste comme ça. Donc voilà, réquisition, mets-toi devant l'appartement, réquisition, gentiment. Je sais pas, là il parle du local. Réquisition, gentiment, tu vois, il paye sur le loyer qu'il a pas payé. Tu récupères les doubles clés et puis il rentre chez sa mère la pute. Tout simplement. Voilà.
If you didn't understand what he just said, he's like basically, I want you to take back the keys to the apartment and to the car. So even when he wanted to leave, it literally did not want him to. They wanted to keep using him for content. And eventually it led to his, like, you know, untimely death. But I know I mentioned earlier about like his mom and stuff, but like I want you to listen to this clip about what his mom was saying to him, because what he's saying to his mom, what his friends are like listening to on stream, is the most heartbreaking part about it. Because if you actually watch a lot more of the clips, like he did push back. It wasn't just all like, you know, one-sided bullying. I mean, there's 6 dudes, so it's kind of hard to fight back. But he would yell at them and stuff. He would push back, so it wasn't just like all, you know, it was just all one end. But regardless of all that, I want you to keep in mind, like I said, you see somebody who's mentally not all there. Okay, you don't need to be a psychiatrist to know he's not mentally all there. And also, like, if you also look at like his body, like he is extremely skinny, so he's not healthy in the slightest. And I mentioned earlier that he also had like heart problems. So, like, you see what I mean? And so let's listen to what his mom was saying to him before beforehand, because it's hard to listen to. But regardless, let's take a peek.
Maman, comment tu vas? Coincé pour un moment avec son jeu de mort. Je te regarderai ce soir. Je pense que là, ça va trop loin, elle a dit. J'ai l'impression être séquestré avec leur concept de merde. C'est de pire en pire, je te plains mon fils, si je les appelle, ça va barder. Wow. Oui, c'est bon, on me marre, je ne veux me barrer, autre, il veut pas, il me séquestre.
Wow. Elle me connaît quand je suis énervé. Ouais.
Honteux ce qu'ils font, elle a dit.
Wow.
Ils ont pas de respect.
So his mom is basically saying like, how to put it, like basically this is going too far. And they don't respect you, and there's like, this is more like a I think it's like a death game. That's what they said, is what she basically said, or like a humiliation ritual. Not word for word, but that's like the gist of what she was saying, and that's what he was. So his mom knew about it. They all knew about it. And another thing that they also keep in mind that I didn't mention too is like, from what it looks like too, it didn't look like he had like a lot of, I guess, friends or a lot of people around him. So he was getting people to like collab with, and so all these guys are much definitely younger than he is. It still feels like he had a place to, you know, relax and talk to his community. But I do want to finish the rest of the clip because, yeah, as sad as it is, like these guys literally took his photo and reading off these messages on stream to how many viewers. So these humiliation rituals don't get much better than that. Like it gets, like, it's, yeah. So let's keep going.
Tu as maigri, tu es fatigué.
Ouais, il a grossi, ouais.
Bon, regarde-moi. T'as jamais eu une meilleure mine que ça, fils de pute. Oui, je sais, on peut plus, j'ai envie de me barrer. ça me gonfle, il me casse les couilles. Je ne comprends pas que tu m'as pas dit que avec les dons que tu as acheté le véhicule de papa. Si, je te l'ai dit, mais bon. Non, ce n'est pas grave. Je connais mes valeurs. Oui, de toute façon, je vais me barrer de ce concept. Alors pourquoi tu jamais rien? De toute façon, pour pas toucher argent, mais bon. Ok. Je serai toujours là pour toi. Tu as vu pour qui ils me font passer. Donc, c'est toi qui dis que tu touches pas de l'argent.
As you understand, like, she's saying, like, my son looks tired. He looks like he's, I guess you could say worn out. And it's talking about, like, his dad buying his dad's car and locking things and that kind of sort of thing. But the whole point is that, like, if you want the whole gist of it, it's like, you know, she's seeing what's going on with her son on stream, and then she sees, like, oh, guess what? Yeah, it's, I don't like what I'm seeing, and it feels like you're not being respected by your peers. But she actually ended up calling, you know, well, I don't know if it was, the timeline's a bit, like, wonky for me, but it was just that she ended up calling, like, these so-called, I'm not going to call them friends, I'm going to call them vagrants, vagabond, whatever you want to call them. And so anyways, so this is what she had to say to them, because she was, when I say upset, does not even describe what she was. She was mad. Let me just show you what I mean.
Je te préviens, Naruto. Les messages encore comme ils sont là, ça va barder. Je te jure, ça va barder. Toi, tu rigoles. Hein? Et tu te dis musulman? Tu te dis musulman?
Je savais pas que j'avais pas le droit de rigoler dans ma religion.
Non, te moquer du Raphaël quand il pleure, mais tu es inhumain. Inhumain, tu es inhumain.
Mais il pleure parce qu'il est tombé sur
Ferme ta
Chained Together.
Ferme ta
Mais il est tombé sur Chained Together, bien sûr que c'est drôle.
Ouais. Hein? Fouiller son téléphone et tout faire comme tu fais, tu te prends pour qui?
Ben vous devez vous mettre à genoux et vous excuser depuis des jours, on n'a pas de nouvelles.
Plutôt crever que de me mettre à genoux devant toi. Plutôt crever.
Mais vous allez vous mettre à chialer comme votre fils.
Ferme ta je ne chialerai pas.
So, okay, that was actually beforehand, actually. So I mixed up my timelines. But regardless of all that, so for the record, okay, just for context, when you tell someone like ferme ta gueule, that means you are like, you really shut up. Like, you're telling them like, really, shut the fuck up. I know it said it on screen, but I just want to really contextualize it. When you say that when you are like really mad. Now, sometimes your friends might say it like jokingly, but regardless, that's what you say when you're like angry at somebody. That's what it is. So anyways, so that's where we're at now. And so to make it even like to catch you guys up to date even a bit more about it, it says here that apparently like French authorities rule out foul play in streamers on air debt. A French prosecutor said Thursday that Raphaël Gravin, also known online as Jean Paul Maneuve, likely died of medical causes, not foul play, after collapsing during a broadcast. His on-air death sparked a public outcry and a judicial investigation into alleged abuse. And so, yeah, that's where we're at now. And so now we have the context here. We've seen the clips, we've seen what's going on. I've showed you guys some pictures and all that. So that's literally what happened, and we even saw that it even hit the front page on Kick. But what if I told you guys that actually this was brought up like last year in December? So it says here, and I couldn't get the full article sadly, because I didn't want to pay for it. But regardless here, I just want to show you here. It's like it says here, Kick Far West de la vidéo où rien de les laisser faire. So it's basically saying, oh, the Kick is just letting videos, just like letting videos as it is. Roughly. So c'est la plateforme des vidéos en direct méconnue du grand public s'est lancée il y a 2 ans. Elle promet une meilleure rémunération aux streamers et surtout plus de liberté. En France, certains ont pu y diffuser des actes de violence pendant des mois. So it's basically telling us like Kick is kind of just like Kick launched a few years ago, but it promotes like really degenerate behavior and gives you more freedom, but they're saying the government needs to step in to like, you know, like calm down the acts of violence that's been going on for like months. And so that's essentially what it is now. So now we have all the context and all that. I have to talk about Kick as a platform itself, because when we really think about it, a lot of our degenerate streamers that have come over the past like years have all, like majority of them came from Kick. Why? Because on Kick, it is the definition of, like what it said in that article, the far west. Okay, and so with it being in the far west or the Wild West, sorry. Yeah, Wild West basically means anything goes on Kick, okay? The only time you get banned on Kick is if you commit an actual crime on Kick. Like an actual crime. Other than that, you can be a degenerate streamer, you can do all the... I mean, Tim was right, you had like Johnny Somali, they came from Kick. You had what, Jack Doherty, Neon? They're all on Kick. They're not on Twitch. As much flack as Twitch deserves, they ain't as degenerate as Kick, okay? That's where a lot of your streamers came from. Well, who else did we cover? I think like Zarka was on Kick. So like all these people were there. And the part that messes me up the most is the fact that people paid money to watch these humiliation rituals. That's what has me, okay? Somebody paid for that. So I have a lot of questions for you guys who actually paid for this. What is wrong with you? Look, seriously, you paid for someone to be humiliated and tortured, and now he is dead because you paid for it. This feels like it's like, I don't know, you ever heard about like those video rooms on the dark web that you don't have to go to the dark web to get this stuff. You got it right here on Twitch. Sorry, on Kick. So you have to understand, I did not understand what the hell I just witnessed, okay? I am genuinely like baffled by it. And the fact that this was brought up like a year, basically almost a year ago, or maybe like not a year ago, but a few months ago, okay? And there was nothing done about it until somebody died. That's what has me. Like, that's what's messing me up, okay? And so, yeah. Just to like really like reiterate like one more time, okay? It says here like his last words to his mom via text were, "Hey mom, how are you? I'm completely stuck with this game. It's going too far. I feel like I'm held hostage with their shit concept. I'm sick of it. I want to leave, but he does not want to let me. He keeps me from leaving. He is sequestrating me." Sorry, I cannot pronounce that word. So, yeah. Thanks, you are now. So, what are we supposed to do now? I don't know really what I want to tell you guys. Like, I can say throw the book at them, but I don't know if the book's gonna hit them properly. So, it is what it is. And the part that really messed me up too is like they say like, oh, you know, be respectful to my friend and all that stuff. Like, listen, if it was your friend, you would not have done what you did for that, for money on the stream, okay? And so regardless of if they rule out foul play, you literally see video evidence of them like doing what they did, exploiting him. And the part that will also get me too is that like Kick did nothing about it, like at all. Okay, like, there's nothing done about it. So what are you supposed to? How am I supposed to interpret that? You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Quite a sick world we live in. But anyways, I just wanted to report on this situation because like it's something that's genuinely like disturbing. I don't know all the legal ramifications of what's happened, but all I can do is pray that yeah, Kick gets what they deserve. And for the record, I believe like Drake left. Drake also left, so that tells you enough. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and follow social description below. And that's what it is. Yeah, massive. I really got nothing else to say.